Hey guys, Big Sexy here, and we have a fantastic GYG giveaway here for you guys in preparation for the WBC. That's right, Guzman and Gomez have come up to the plate and they are going to give us some gift cards for a number of different things. Hughesy and I are going to break it down and tell you all the ways that you can win in this episode. But a huge shout out to GYG, Guzman and Gomez, for supporting the show and for supporting you. So if you want to try and win yourself a couple of gift cards, hey, you could win them all. You could win them all. There's heaps of gift cards to win. And hey, if you want to win them, you're going to have to listen to the rest of this show because we're going to tell you all the ways that you can win them. Of course, coming up to the huge World Baseball Classic. Huge shout out. Thank you so much to GYG for jumping on and supporting the show.
It's an old baseball saying, a bloop and a blast.
Bloop and a blast.
Bloop and a blast. Big Sexy, Luke Hughes.
Going back. This ball's back and gone in his first major league at bat. Luke Hughes hits a home run. What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Bloop and a Blast podcast. My name is Big Sexy. I am the Bloop. His name is Luke Hughes. He is the Blast. Hughesy, it's been a couple of weeks. Christmas has happened. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. It's good to have you back.
And to you, Jeremy Sexton. Mate, it was a good break, very good break. And my family pop over from Perth, which was fantastic. They came over, spent about 6 days over here, so playing tour guide, which was great. Got to see my little niece. She's growing up fast, which was great.
Awesome.
And good time to spend with the family, as everyone loves to do over Christmas. And quiet New Year's for me, mate. Back at work today, which was good, I guess. But how you going?
Good, man. I had pretty dead set carbon copy. I was the same. Mum and Dad came over for Christmas. Of course, we've got the boys staying here as well. We've got Tal and Bodie as well. So it was a full house. There's a lot of things happening. The only people that weren't affected were Mum and Dad, which is cool. They got the prime room with the ensuite, and the rest of us were just scattered around. It was like musical beds. It was weird, but it was cool. It was a lot of fun and a quiet New Year's Eve for me too. Just been going to heat games, man. Been going to the baseball, been going to the beach, a little bit of work. I'm back today as well, like you. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been good. It's been hot, dude. It has been hot over here. I know a hot day in Melbourne for you would be what, like 20, 24 degrees, you know? I'm going to go to the beach.
Yeah, 24 degrees and it melts down over here, mate. But we do have some hot weather coming up this week. I think we've got a
big heat wave.
Yeah, a couple of 40-degree days over here, mate. But a lot of baseball to catch up on. It's been a big couple of weeks in the ABL.
Yeah. Well, before we get into it, I think the best way to do it, let's go back and not necessarily look at the last 2 weeks. Let's look at what the actual standings are right now. So we record this as it drops. It's going to drop for you guys Tuesday morning. We're recording this on Monday. Nothing's going to change between now and then. But after the last weekend, right, let's just go through it. We're not going to go through the last 2 rounds because no one wants to listen to me dribble on for that long. You guys know. You've been paying attention. It's fine. But let's look at the standings as of right now. So we've got the Blue Sox way out in front, 20 and 11, right? The Giants and Perth Heat locked there in second place. Both 5.5 games out, but at this point, I think it's something like Sydney have to go 2 and 6, all right, and they still make it, right? I think they're going to win like 3 games to clinch or something like that. Giants and the Heat locked away at second, 14 and 16, and the Bandits are right behind them. Well, kind of. They're about 7 games out of the lead, so there's a game and a half behind second place there. So it's squaring up to be like a pretty interesting last 2 rounds, which of course the ABL loves that. We love that. You know what I mean? Everyone loves it. It's kind of fun. Your team's still in the hunt. It's pretty exciting.
It is, mate. And I think looking at it, you know, the Perth Heat are playing some better baseball. Adelaide got some guys back.
Yep.
And, you know, Brisbane are kind of still doing their thing. But to come with, you know, 2 rounds to go and be a game and a bit, you know, within second or fourth, it's exciting. And it's exciting for the ABL, right? So, you know, I had a quick little look and to see who's playing each other, and you know, Adelaide play Brisbane this week and Sydney play Perth, and you know, that's essentially, you know, set up that last series, right? So if Perth can get over there, I think they're playing some really good baseball. I think Sydney have suffered quite significant injuries to their team, which is going to deplete them. And I think they're, I won't say struggling, but I know they still won some games on the weekend, but that lineup is completely different compared to what it was at the first half of the season.
Well, we saw this last year with Sydney too. Their imports left, though, different circumstances, but we saw this last year. Their imports left, and they had that little hurdle at the end, which unfortunately for Sydney, and not throwing shade, but they didn't quite make it to the grand, the championship series, did they? But I mean, I'm hoping this isn't a repeat. And we know Brooks pretty smart, so hopefully these guys can get it together and continue this charge. I mean, obviously they're going to make it to the championship series now, but you'd like to see them in full swing.
You would, but I just don't think you're going to get it right. Like, you're going to have solid pitching, which we know. I'm sure it goes back to a 3-game set, which helps, most teams. That game 4 starter drops out, floats into the bullpen for all the teams. So the games become a little bit more difficult because you've got a couple of extra pitching options that will float into those games. But really, it sets up for the last round of the season when, I'd just say Sydney are going to get through, right? That's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
They'll win those couple of games that they need to win to clinch. And it really comes down to the Highfields, Perth Heat v Adelaide in that last series, and whoever
5
plays
games
well.
too. There's 5 games. Yeah.
And anything can happen through that 5-game set, which is, I mean, it's a lot of baseball to be played between now and then. But that series between Perth and Adelaide, all chips are in. Whoever wins that series will get through.
In Adelaide?
Adelaide.
Pretty nasty. The other thing to look at, and I mean, I'll quickly just run through the scores before we profligate into the future, because I do want to go through this. It was, of course, round 8, and Adelaide Giants played Sydney. They won game 1 there, 9-3. Jack O'Loughlin gets the W. Again on Friday, Adelaide Giants versus Sydney, 4-3. Sydney got there. Landon Barassa got it done for the Blue Sox. Game 1. Perth Heat versus Brisbane Bandits. Perth Heat got up 3-2 on the back of Tucker Smith. Big save from Big Time Sorps. There you go. Moving into what was he? Top 10 now? Top 10 all-time saves leader in the league. Let's go, Sorps. Again, Saturday night, Perth Heat. They beat Brisbane Bandits 3-0. Gary Gross Gene. I'm calling him Gross Gene. I know it's Grosjean, but I tell you what, he is gross. Absolutely nasty. Love that guy. Brisbane Bandits took game 3 of that series 6-2. And of course, going over to the next game that day, Sydney Blue Sox, Adelaide Giants, 7-5 for the Adelaide Giants in that one. And game 4 of the Brisbane Bandits Perth Heat series here in Perth was yesterday or Sunday. As you're listening to this, it was on Sunday. Perth Heat got up 7-5. That was an absolute stinker. I dropped a guy off at the ballpark and then left to go and sit in the aircon to watch that. I apologise. I know who I am. And game 4 of the Sydney Blue Sox Adelaide series, Sydney got up 7-3. So there you go. That's a quick little run around the grounds there as far as round 8 is concerned. But so much to talk about, a lot to talk about. I do want to say this though, and we've mentioned it maybe a couple of times, but Grosjean, nasty. Oh my God, and what a nice little pickup mid-season. Hey, there's this guy in Adelaide that's throwing the ball really well. Let's take him. Let's get him from the club team.
Yeah, it's interesting that the club team has allowed him to play, and from all reports will continue to allow him to play. Yeah,
that's what I've heard too. Yeah.
So, that's a huge pickup for the Heat when they needed that, starter, that independent ball, I guess you call it, American starter. And he threw 7 innings again.
Yeah, but not just him that they needed a guy that could start. They got a guy that's could very well be an ace. I don't know, but he's had 3 pretty good starts. Yeah, I'm looking at his stat line now. What's he given up? 10 hits, 19 innings. So he's given up a few hits, 1 earned run. Not heaps of strikeouts, 13 strikeouts, thrown a few walks, 7 walks there. But he's got a .47 ERA, guys. I think that's exactly what the Perth Heat needed. So yeah, pretty cool to see that for him to just come out and just be nasty and shove.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? And I guess through this period of the season when all club teams aren't playing, and I know the rules only allow for 2, imports to be able to play that aren't affiliated. And, I think there's plenty of calls being made to try and find some people to potentially play in these games. And, fortunate enough for the Heat, they got on the front foot early and found someone.
My phone never rang. No one rang.
No one rang you, right? There was a phone ringing for my club ball import, but he had signed with the Aces and been pitching down there. So it's great to see these guys come out to Australia, get an opportunity to play, and of course do well.
Well, this is a question that I've thought about a little bit. Like, what happens when you get an import out and they're nasty, and then the Perth Heat or your local team, ABL team's like, hey, we might grab this guy if we can. You being a club coach, you're a club coach here, and of course, your knowledge of the ABL. How does that even work? Obviously, the Perth Heat approach you. Hey, man, what can we do here? You're not going to want to let him go. You want to win club ball games. You've paid for his airfare. You put this guy up. What's that conversation?
A part of where I come from is, allowing your import to have the opportunity to play, right?
Yeah.
And if it works out, fantastic. And I said that to Leroy, my import at Essendon, when I originally spoke to him. I said, look, the phone will call if you just do your thing, and I'm happy if it works for you to be able to go play. And then obviously through that Christmas break, there's 3 series generally that they can, be allowed to pitch. And I've always been, positive with the ABL clubs to have the opportunity when it rises to use them. Where it gets a little bit, I guess, hairy is the relationships that teams have with the different local clubs and their relationship, and understanding that goes a lot deeper than just this year. It's what's happened in the past and how they've obviously treated players and how they've treated the club. And, it's not like the club turns around and say, hey, we want money for it. I'm like, no, I don't care. But there's a lot of history that goes into it, and being able to support not only for an ABL club back to the local competition, but the local competition also supporting the ABL teams as well, right? So I think there's a lot that goes into it. And for me, I think here in Melbourne, there's one more series during our season, and we play Tuesday, Saturdays, right? And, I told Leroy, I said, look, mate, I'll look at that series. I think it's in mid-February, right? And we'll see where we're at as a club and whether or not, I have the ability to be able to let him go and maybe throw an inning. He generally throws on Tuesdays. So, going down on a weekend to maybe throw an inning or two isn't the end of the world. So, I'll most likely will allow him to do it for sure, right? And it's good exposure for him, right? He's come out to Australia. You're giving him the opportunity, and to be able to go and pitch and, keep them happy too. Like, that's all a part of it. It's all about relationships, right? And want to build a strong relationship with the player. So when the player leaves, they turn around and say, look, we had a great time at Essendon Baseball Club or whatever club that player's been a part of.
For you.
They're a spokesperson for me, right? So if he doesn't want to come back or can't come back next year, he's like, hey, he'll call me. Hey, man, I got a buddy. He's nasty. He wants to come out. Be like, yeah, cool. And when you have that relationship and someone that will sign off on that player and they know what it's like in Australia, I think that's highly important. If they don't have a good experience here, of course they're going to go back and say, yeah, no, don't go down there. So for me, I think there's a lot of different factors that come into it, but I always want to support the ABL and give the opportunity for those players to play in the ABL.
Absolutely. And look, before we dive too much deeper into it, I mean, it's different though for a pitcher, for a starter, sorry. Sounds like Leroy's a reliever, right? He's doing a couple of, no, he's a starter. Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, right. It just seems like it's I don't know. You start on a Tuesday night, throw 5, back it up. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's like a bullpen for him, right? If it comes to a Saturday, and there's rules in Melbourne, a little bit different. Players can throw 7 innings across the week, right? So if they throw 5 on Tuesday, they can throw 2 on the Saturday, but then they can only throw 5 on that Tuesday coming up, right? So it kind of rolls a bit. So if he throws 7 on Tuesday, doesn't throw Saturday, he's good for 7 again on Tuesday.
Right.
So it's slightly different, and I know every state has their own rules. But hey, look, as I said, if it works, mate. And it's great to see some guys get opportunities.
Yeah, it is cool. It is cool. Now, at the beginning of the episode, I told you guys that we had a little something for you. And this is what we were talking about. It is, of course, a massive Guzman A. Gomez giveaway for those of you that can guess or guess or pick, I guess, really. It's for the listener that's going to pick the most number of players on the WBC 30-man roster. Now, there's a few different ways to win, but that is one way you could win yourself a $100 gift card for GYG. Guzman and Gomez backing it up, supporting the show. We love to see this. This is fantastic. And you guys, the listeners, are going to be winning here. So here you go. Here's what we've got on offer, right? A $100 gift card for you, the listener that picks the most number of players on the WBC 30-man roster. If there's a tie, those of you that got it in first are going to win. That's really good. Where are you going to send all these into? You're going to send it into @Bloop Blast Podcast on Instagram. Slide into our DMs. Yeah, you got to do it on Instagram. Sorry, guys. I'm not taking the Facebook stuff. We're not doing it. But slide into our DMs on Instagram @Bloop Blast Podcast. Number 2, the second way you can win. You can get yourself a $150 gift card for the listener that gets the starting 10 for the game versus Japan on March 8. Mate, March 8. Mate, yeah, you get that. You have to get them all to win, not closest to the pin like number 1 there, all right? Earliest submission wins, and, of course, the tiebreaker. And the third way you can win, right? This is wild, but you can get yourself a $250 gift card for the listener that gets the correct 1 through 9 batting order for the game versus Japan, okay? If more than one of you listeners out there get this, guess what? You're all going to win yourself a $250 gift card. I mean, GYG, Guzman and Gomez, thank you so much. There are so many good options. And I tell you what, mate, with not just me in the house, but there's a couple other guys in the house right now, right? And the boys have been smashing the Guzzy. They've been smashing Guzman and Gomez right across the road. So it's been a pretty nasty pick. So we might have to pool our resources here and get the house a little gift card. Nah, I can't be super dodgy. But there you go. That's what's on offer. So $100 gift card for the listener. I'll just go through it again real quick. Sorry. Listener picks the most number of players on the WBC 30-man roster. $150 gift card for the listener gets the starting 10 for the game versus Japan on March 8. Again, slide into our DMs, tell us earliest submission wins. And, of course, $250 gift card to Guzman and Gomez for the listener that gets the correct 1 through 9 batting order versus Japan. All right? And guess what? If you all get it, we're going to send them broke because you all are going to get yourself a $250 gift card for Guzman and Gomez. So thank you so much to those guys for supporting the show. Hey, Guzman, giving up some love. We love to see that. But there you go. Hughesy. Give me some ideas.
I can't win. I've been told I cannot win.
You can't win. Was there anything about Big Sexy not winning? Because there
was just an L Hughes that cannot win.
Luke Hughes can't win. Perfect. Let's go.
But I don't think there was a Big Sexy that can't win.
Nice.
I think over the next few episodes we'll just continue to dive into this more heavily because it's something that you can start to feel the buzz around the baseball scene, starting to talk about the WBC team across the world, right? Like all teams, right? So it's going to be a huge tournament, something that I'm very passionate about. It's the best tournament in the world for baseball by far, right? The best players in the world are going to play. The best players in Australia are making themselves available for it. Curtis Mead's already been announced. Travis Bazzana, number 1 pick in the draft, has already been announced. Liam Hendricks has already been announced for Team Australia. So they're 3 of the 30. Yeah. So you can get those 3 in there. You just got to pick 27 others, right? And I think there's going to be quite a difficult task for the Australian coaching staff for those bench roles, as we talked about previously in another show. And I think one of the hardest things that I see, there's a lot of good left-handed pitching available out there to be selected on that roster. And it comes down to how many pitches does Dave and Benny want to take from throw from the left side? Because there's a lot of good ones, right? I'm
gonna close this on the 16th of January. Okay, so you've got this week and all of next week. There you go. There you go, listeners. That's it. You know how to win. You know what you can win. You know when it's ending. It's no more. I'm not going to accept any more after the 16th. All right? So I'll give you up until midnight on the 16th. There you go. So get your entries in to @Bloop Blast Podcast on Instagram. Slide into our DMs. If you don't have Instagram, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to download it, and then you're going to have to follow us on there. Yeah. Because we've also got the 1K giveaway, and that's coming up in a couple of weeks too, but we'll get into that. That's going to be after this, all right? So it's exciting. It's that time of year. It's not Christmas. Christmas is already gone, but we're giving some stuff away, and that's a huge thanks to GYG, Guzman and Gomez for looking after the boys and the show, and of course you guys, the listeners. So, wow. Yeah, you're right though, Luke. There's a few names being selected, and those names are maybe not going to be in the starting nine, like Hendo's probably not going to be, right? He's not going to be in the starting nine, right? Unfortunately. But hey, there's a couple of names out there already that you could go, hey, this is going to be it. Yeah, you know? So yeah, it sounds wild, but it's I don't know. It's not going to be the hardest thing. And of course, the only other caveat that we've got for this little competition is you must be subscribed to Bloop and a Blast podcast. So there you go. Thank you. We appreciate you guys. Huge thanks to GYG. I've said it, but yeah, Guzzy has been getting a run in our house. Anyways, there you go. So that's pretty exciting. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about, Luke, before we keep moving on is I don't know if you noticed it, but the K Zone. We got a little K Zone action here in the ABL, and it was Game 4 of the Perth Heat and Brisbane Bandits game here in Perth. Now, my understanding is that a lot of it's tied to do with the TrackMan stuff that they have, but we'll get into that. But again, just talking about it, as those of us that watch, I'm pretty sure a lot of us watch big league games, and we try to catch as many as we can. It was just like that. You had a little square, a little strike zone on the screen. You got the ball placer or tracker or dot, whatever. But another thing that I noticed as well was we had the exit velo, we had the pitch velo, we had a lot of stats on screen. And I tell you what, man, from 12 months ago, again, even from the start of this season, the broadcast quality has increased. Now, I know what you're going to say, right? Why wasn't it there at day one? But it is what it is. I still think I wish this was like a 10 round? I wish it was a 20 round season, right? And we got to enjoy this for another 14, 13, 12 rounds, whatever we would have left, right? That would be sick. But I tell you, like, and look, I don't think my impression is, and I don't have any intel, but my impression is that a lot of hard work went into it. And if you're watching the broadcast, yeah, look, it wasn't perfect. It didn't come on for the first few innings because they were trying to basically prove the concept of this working and making it work and tying it in. Now, are we going to see that every single game? Probably not. I don't think we're going to see it every single game, which is unfortunate, but we know we've got it. We know we could, right? So I reckon we're definitely going to see it for the championship series. I have a feeling it's in Sydney. I'm sure Sydney have a track man. If they don't, they can fly on over from Perth. I reckon that's what you're going to see if it's in Sydney, right? But chances are it's probably in Sydney. So anyways, that was my monologue. There you go.
It's not in Adelaide. They haven't got that one sorted yet. I spoke to Alex Hall about this over the weekend. Yeah, about TrackMan.
They don't have a TrackMan in Adelaide. Okay.
No, they haven't got it set up properly yet. I don't think there's something to do with the setup. I think that they're trying to work through. Yeah. But there is one there. But the data that essentially the playing group can now access is huge, right? And that's what the game's turned into. And I'm a fan of the data and all that stuff. I think there's a place for it. I think we can go too heavily into it, but the ability for the players to be able to, I think, finish their at bat, go back and jump on their tablet and check it out. Like like it's all the information's there too. So, more information on the opposing pitches goes both ways. You're at bat, what you've done, what you swung out, and all that stuff like that. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. The K Zone, wish it was there. I wish it was there maybe 10 years ago. maybe 10 years ago.
Imagine Luke Hughes coming out with I can show you. I'll pause this. Look at this. It's not even in the strike zone.
I would never have done that, Sexy, ever.
You would have. I've heard you go, that's not a strike. It is now. No, it's not. Anyway, sorry, let's not get into that. But I do have a question for you, though, right? We're pretty much there. And you know what? Here's a conspiracy theory for you. It's not true, but imagine, right? That game on Sunday could have been called by RoboUp. The guys on TrackMan just going, yeah, that's a strike. And little earpiece, Robbo's ear. Nah, ball. Could have been.
Can you imagine Robbo? Robbo like, nah, I'm not umpiring anymore.
Probably.
Robbo's the guy who'd be like, nah.
Not saying it was, of course, it wasn't, right? Like, it was all whatever. But I'm just saying, like, that was my thought when I started to see this. I was like, oh, hang on. We're actually a lot closer to this. But it gives me this. This is my point. And I was thinking about it. I don't want RoboUp. I don't actually like it. I hate it. I hate that whole thing, to be fair. What I do want is replay. And I don't know, I think you would too. Like bang bang play at first base, 2 out, bottom of the seventh. You got a position, you know, you got a spot here to score some runs, and then you get that. You're like, come on, man, let's go upstairs and ask him.
So this is where I think of like, and we've had quite a few conversations on this over the last year or so about if the technology and the ability is there, right? Why not use it?
Mm.
Tennis around the globe has gone to full automatic, you know, whether it's through, I actually don't know what technology they use now in the Oz Open. I was talking about this with
It'd be
Travis
Hawkeye,
Hayden.
wouldn't it?
I think it's Hawkeye. I'm not sure if they changed it, but last year I went to the Oz Open and I was talking to Travis Kalin, who works for Tennis Australia and WA as well. And he was explaining it to me and I was like, yeah, it's all done through Hawkeye. Every call is done through Hawkeye, you know, and they've got the voice that calls over, it's in or out. So for me, I look at it and go, well, what's the difference between that being introduced into baseball and the strike zone just being the strike zone, right? And you take the human element out of it. And I know a lot of people love the human element to the game, and that's why they're drawn to it. You know, I think people enjoy the little dust ups here and there between player and umpire and all that stuff. It's probably not a great thing, and I was really bad at it, and it's something that I've tried to turn the corner on for the last 5 years since kind of finishing up playing and going to coaching full time. And you know, for me, I think it would eliminate some of that drama that would happen within the game, and I think that's not a bad thing, right? Will we have that quality technology available to the Australian Baseball League? Why not? If TrackMan's there and they have the ability to do it,
Yeah.
Why not do it, right? They do it, you know, through the minor leagues and stuff like that now. I think that MLB will be, you know, 100% done through it within time. I know they're doing some stuff next year. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool to see, you know, and it's going to hold these umpires accountable. If you have the ability to do it, they can go back and see their ball strike correction rate and, you know, be rated just like big league umpires. They're all rated. They've got all that data and information available to everybody to see, you know, and I know that's tough, mate. They just work. There's not full-time guys. They don't get paid that much money for it. And I don't want any drama to be put back onto them. So I think if you're going to go down this path and present that product, it's going to hone in sometimes some bad calls and maybe some consistency issues throughout the Australian Baseball League, which I don't think is a great thing for the umpiring group personally. So yeah, it's a tough one, right?
I'll say this. My issue, and this is why I was leading towards what I was, right? My issue this year, like watching the games that I've watched, hasn't been with necessarily the strike zones as much as it has been the calls, like the bang bang plays at first base or third or wherever, right? That's sort of where I just from my memory and going, oh man, like what? No way. Like, and like, of course, like I'm sitting on my armchair at home, man. I'm not in the best spot and not taken away from the umpires, right? But where that comes into it, right, is that we probably would need a little bit better like cameramen and like people that
heaps of cameras, heaps of cameras.
Yeah,
and that's not going to happen. That's going to that production cost is going to cost way too much.
But again, we're close. Like right, like it's like oh wow, we've got this. Like that was really cool. Like I went back and watched it again because I was like oh I want to see it again. Do you know what I mean? So like, anyways. Give him props, man. I love that. And I messaged a mate of mine there and I said, hey, this is sick. I love what has happened here. Well done. So congratulations. I think it's really cool. And again, hey, we were bitching about it. We were complaining about it. We've gone on and complained about it. But the broadcast quality, if you're going to deliver that, if we start next season with that everywhere, okay, let's go. Of course, we're always going to have concerns because we love this thing. We all love this thing. We all want it to be the best. But yeah, anyways, there you go. That's about what I had. So yeah, anyways, let's move on. Let's go into what is going to happen in the next round. That is, of course, round 9. The penultimate round? Is that how it's supposed to be said? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Round 9 coming up this weekend. We know what's happening here. Adelaide going up to Brisbane. Now, you kind of touched on it a little bit, Luke, but Adelaide going up to Brisbane? Ooh, nasty. Like, Brisbane, this is another thing I was thinking of too. One guy that's probably not necessarily that worried is Jim Bennett. Jim was in this position last year, was he not? with Canberra, and he ended up doing a Stephen Bradbury and come from behind and winning this whole damn thing, right? Like, he's just saying, "Hey, it's all good. There's plenty of baseball. Let's go and wait till the last minute." But Brisbane up there, Adelaide's going up. What are you thinking?
I think Adelaide have too much offensive power for that team, and I think, yeah, yeah. I just think Adelaide now with what they have for them, like I think that's LA going to go on a run. They're going to play pretty good in the last couple of weeks, and I really think it's going to come down to between Adelaide and Perth in the last series.
Yeah.
Brisbane showed some signs. They lost a close one on Friday night. So that game could have gone either way. I think it was like 3-2 or Thursday night, whatever night the first game was on. And, so that series
I think
could
that
have
whole series could have gone either way. Yeah.
And then
Each
the
game.
Sunday game, they were up. They were winning that game going into like maybe the 8th inning before the Heat, I think, scored 3, either in the 7th or 8th inning. So if you look at it, they had the opportunity to be able to potentially win 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That 3 games, even 4 in that round. So, I do expect that Adelaide, with their thump that they have, to be able to get it done this week against Brizzy.
Yeah, okay. So you're going Adelaide win?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Brisbane win. Just because when you go and say that, Luke, when you go and say Brisbane, whatever, Brisbane go out and they go and just go on a run. So I'm going to put it up that way. Now, of course, the other series that we're all excited about, I know I am because it's going to be here and I'm going to be going. I'm going to be there on Friday night. I know that much for sure. It's Sydney Blue Sox coming over here to Perth. Sydney versus Perth, 4 games there. What are you thinking, Luke? Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm going to go Perth.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go Perth. I just think offensively for Sydney, they just got a few too many holes to plug. You've got Tucker, who's been lights out his last 3 outings. So he really sets it up. That first game is huge. Wellesley had a tough outing, probably the most hits he's given up since he's been pitching in the ABL. I think he gave up like 13 hits in 6 and a third. So maybe his ceiling is really 5 to 6. Trying to push into that 7th inning is always quite difficult when you start facing that lineup for the 3rd or 4th time. So, that game one, I'd tick the Tucker. I think, they've got 2 fantastic arms behind Alex, Brasser and Ferreira, who I think those games are going to be quite difficult. But if carry Gross Gene is floating through there, I mean, that's a tough field, and it's a big ballpark in Sydney, right? So I think the scores aren't going to be as high as what they have been potentially at some of these other fields that these guys play at. So, I'm going to go Perth for this one. And it's all based off starting pitching, right? This whole series, and I know baseball is based off starting pitching, I get it, but even more so, the starting pitching for these both teams, that's where their strengths are. So Sydney have a strong starting rotation. Perth have now, I think, got a pretty decent 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Within, probably need more out of Kiz. He's had a couple of tough outings, right? So need more out of him. And then we'll just see what happens on that game 4, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny though, because like Sydney's been nasty all year with their starting rotation. So and I think a guy like Wellesley is quite easily going to bounce back from a bad outing. Do you know what I mean? Unless there's something more, he's given something up or whatever. But so I agree. I think you're right. My heart, I don't have any reason. I just want to back the Perth Heat because I want to see them. What a great opportunity for them, right? To go, not only Sydney come into town, but hey, we could take 3 off Sydney here, not just boost our stock, because you kind of got to win at least 3 of these games. 2 would be good, but you want to try and win 3 here at least, right? Against Sydney, what a great spot, because you don't know what's going to happen. Adelaide and Brisbane is on a knife edge. It could flip either way. Let's be real. We don't really know what's going to happen. You can't be sitting there hoping that Adelaide lose to Brisbane, right? You kind of got to go and do it. So I'm going to go Perth Heat, but I do think Wellesley's going to be nasty. I think the pitching for Sydney's going to be nasty, and somehow Perth Heat have to try and work that out, either jump on them early or just get it done late in the game. And, there you go. We'll both go on Perth Heat. It'd be exciting. It'll be good.
It'll be good.
So There you go. That's what we've got for you. It is squaring up to be a pretty exciting end to the ABL season. Who's going to be there with Sydney? Hey, are Sydney going to be there? Yeah, they are. Of course they are. They can't not get there this time. But hey, it's going to be exciting, man. It is going to be really, really cool. And we're going to be here with you along the way. So, like I said to you guys earlier, if you haven't already, go and make sure you are following us on Instagram, Facebook, and all of that at Bloop Blast Podcast. What's wrong, Luke? What have you got?
You've got something, mate. What I spoke about before
What?
you sign off on the episode.
Oh, of course. I was just going to plug the competition. But you have big things happening in Essendon, don't you?
We do have big things happening.
Yes,
at
that's what
this
you
week.
have. My apologies.
We have the AYCs kicking off in Essendon, Preston, and Port Melbourne. So they're using 3 venues here in Melbourne. Both 16s and 18s are here. First time they've been outside of Sydney for a very long time.
Cool.
So, I know a lot of work's gone into the 3 facilities. I know the amount of work that the club has put in at Essendon to get everything up to shape and to make sure they facilitate a kick-ass national tournament here, right? So I was looking at some of the past 10-year champions as they have posted this today. Last year, South Australia won the 16s and New South Wales won the 18s last year, right? And New South Wales have been dominating the 16s age bracket for a long period of time. I think in the last 10 years, they've won about 5 out of the 10. And it's a pretty even split through the under 18s. It seems like there's been a pretty even split between all states in that one. So I think it's going to be a huge tournament. Now, like anytime you get the ability to, obviously come together as a state team, train together for the amount of time that those teams have been together, which is quite long. I always think it's too long, the preparation length leading into a national tournament. But, to be able to come here to Melbourne, the weather looks like it's going to be pretty good down here.
Nice.
And hopefully, it doesn't rain too much. There's a couple of hot days coming in the back end of this week too, right? So excited to see all the best players around the country, touch down in Melbourne and take it to them, right? So lots of scouts coming into town, lots of people asking questions about players, and it's an exciting time for these guys to be able to represent themselves and represent their state, right? So, yeah, looking forward to that one.
We played a little scratch match, a little scrimmage, couple of guys from Morley and Wanneroo and all sorts of clubs against the under 18s, and a couple of notables. One was Zy Gordon. He had a massive nuke on the day. Yeah,
did he?
Yeah.
Off who?
It's one of the kids, man. I don't know.
Bragging, right?
One of them. I was is what it is. But no, it was cool. It was a lot of fun. That's probably why I'm looking a little bit red. I got absolutely blazed in the sun. But we got to face those guys ahead of their tournament, so that was pretty exciting. So best of luck to all the kids, man. It's going to be exciting. I tell you what, another thing to watch too. 18's a swinging 10. Nasty. Absolute nasty, man.
So they should, right? So they should. Most of these, the pathway to college just seems like it's a thing. We've talked about this on the shows, and in college they swing 10, right? So why not use 10? Quick note: you can watch all the games at Essendon on Baseball Plus. You can watch the games at Port Melbourne. There's about 8 games at Port Melbourne on Baseball Plus, and at Preston, it's all through Game Changer. Okay. All right. So,
New AstroTurf too, I hear. Is that correct? New AstroTurf clay mound at Essendon?
Yeah. AstroTurf, clay mound, clay cutout around home plate.
Wow.
They've put a lot of work into the grass in the outfield. They relayed all the pipes. The grass is, where it needs to be compared to where it was last year. There's been a lot of work done there. It's just the place looks great, right? It's a relatively new clubhouse. I think it's only, been finished a few years ago.
There a big Luke Hughes sign or like a video board? No, sorry, keep going.
Not at all, mate. No, so the place is going to look great, right? And, the Peter Breckenridge has done a hell of a lot of work with his crew and the grounds crew people there over the last few weeks. everyone else is on holidays, and these guys are just going to town on the field, and I get
awesome.
picture updates from the boys, sending it. Peter sends it through to me and stuff, and all I said to him is, "It better look like this for the rest of the season after the Nationals finish." Going to have a high expectation.
Yeah.
So no, all jokes aside, it's an exciting time, mate. And I remember when I got to play, represent my state when I was a kid. I thought it was the best thing ever, right? And you get to go away, you get to stay and hang out together as a group at a hotel or wherever they're staying, and some of the best times and memories of your life are being a part of that state team.
Yeah.
So it's just
bus trips, man. Bus trips are the best. I don't know. I always like the bus trips.
Yeah, man, it's fantastic, right? So they're where the beginnings of lifelong friendships start to be formed, and I think that's something that a lot of players don't think about at the time. Some of my best mates still to this day are from those under 16s and under 18 national tournaments, right? Get to play against guys. You essentially get to play with them on national teams down the track if it's a junior team, or if not, when you get a chance to play in the senior men's team, right? And, you played against these guys in under 14s or under 16s or under 18s, and the fast forward 15 years and you've been teammates with them on a national team for that long. So it's lifelong friendships, and I think that's one of the things that gets kind of forgotten about, but is one of the most important things, and these guys will see it down the track.
Yeah, that's unreal. Man, it's hey, what a nice way to finish this episode. That was nice. Also, I just want to say, as you said, but like huge shout out to all the volunteers, man, because we all know, like, when you've been in baseball long enough, but like, oh yeah, congratulations to the volunteers. Nah, thank you to all the volunteers, especially, and not just there. Like, we know there's volunteers all over Australia doing stuff like this, but it's amazing the amount of work that does go into it. You know it, you see it. You go out there and you go, wow, like this is going to be sensational. So huge shout out to all of them, and then multiple clubs all over there. So best of luck to everyone for this next week. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. And Hughesy, are you going to go down and give us a few quick recaps of what happens at the ABLCS? Maybe you can.
I got the boys back. I got the boys back at training Tuesday, Thursday. So it's good to run into a few of the old mates that are coaching on the state teams for WA. Shane Neville Smith sent me a message, the Perth Heat superstar. Sent me a text today, like heavy hooker, shot me a message, and just trying to find time to catch up with these boys. And, Ottaway's down there, play with him, with the Healers back in the day too. And, it's cool, man. Like it's where past players have an opportunity to, pass on their knowledge to the next playing group. And most of the time they might have their kid on the team, which does help out. But yeah, everyone flying into Melbourne. It's going to be the Festival of Baseball here, which is great, right? And I think it's at Essendon for the next few years as well. So
nice.
It's the beginning of something I think pretty special for the club here.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. And like I was mentioning before, if you haven't already, go and check out our socials, because we are, of course, doing the Guzman and Gomez giveaway. That's right. You could win yourself a $100 gift card just for the most number of players on the WBC 30-man roster, right? Early submission wins. So slide into our DMs at Bloop Blast Podcast. Send us who you think that's going to be. $150 gift card for the listener that gets the starting 10 for the game versus Japan on March 8th. Again, get it in. This is all going to close on the 16th of January, but send it in to our Instagram at Bloop Blast Podcast. Early submission wins, tiebreaker. You've got to get them all, right, to win that one. And, of course, the big one, $250 gift card for Guzman and Gomez to the listener that gets the correct 1 through 9 batting order for the game versus Japan. And guess what? If there's like 10 of you win, guess what? You all get one, all right?
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. It's going to be fantastic, man. And I tell you what, if you see me at a Guzman and Gomez and you win, I want you to shout me something. I like the Cali burrito. It's good. Let's do it. Come on. So, hey, I'm just hooking you up, all right? I can't win it. I promise I won't rig it. No, I won't. Hughesy can't win it, so we're clear. We're all good. But, hey, it's all on offer there. So go and check it out. Huge shout out to GYG for supporting the show. And, hey, supporting you guys to go and get some of that beautiful little food that they do there. So let's do it. Hughesy, is there anything else that you wanted to say to everyone before we wrap it up?
No, mate, I'm all good. Great to be back. Great to be chatting baseball. Huge few weeks ahead, mate. ABL is going to be firing up the last few weeks of this season, and looking forward to watching some more baseball and seeing how this K zone goes.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. And one other quick little thing. Go and check us out on YouTube at Bloop Blast Podcast on YouTube. I did convince the UK listener, Hughesy. Remember the UK listener? Remember how they had like a name that was all like numbers and blah, 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 blah? I got them to change their username to the UK listener. So there we go. We've done it. So that's pretty exciting. But hey, we appreciate you guys. And thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting us. We're nearly there. And I'll tell you one thing I'm really excited for. I am excited for the Championship Series. Man, the WBC. It's coming. It's going to be a lot of fun. And here we go. There's no other way to sign this show off other than a cheeky little...
Adios, muchachosos.
Adios, muchachosos. Take care.
Adios, muchachosos.
It's an old baseball saying, a bloop and a blast.
Bloop and a blast. Bloop and a blast. Big Sexy, Luke Hughes.
Going back. This ball's back.